Hey guys, welcome back to MFO. Thanks for tuning in. I had the opportunity to join my buddy Matt Steffen on his members only podcast, and the idea was that it was a debate about what league he should fish in 2026. Obviously, whether that be the Opens or the Pro Circuit or the NPFL. It got us off on a little tangent talking about the NPFL that I wanted to bring up because I thought that little tangent ended up being a pretty significant topic to talk about. So if you stick around, I'm going to talk about the NPFL a little bit and what our observations are and what they need to do. Before I go to the break, though, I do want to just ask this quick question for those of you who do watch the channel on a regular basis. I don't have a members only video, but I'm wondering if how many of you might be interested in signing up, say for $5 or $10 a month, and us doing a members only live stream once a month. If that's something that would be interesting to you, please let me know in the comments so that we can kind of see whether or not there's enough interest in doing that. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher. Thanks for tuning in, and please, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit the hype button. That's a new thing nowadays. The hype button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We'd appreciate all of that. What we're talking about today is the NPFL. And the reality is, if you talk to anglers, especially older anglers like us, the reality is the NPFL is getting a lot of fan support. A tremendous amount of people are supportive of the stances that the NPFL has taken. The stance on no forward-facing sonar, the fact that it's drawing a lot of the bigger, maybe older names to, from the elites, the Swindells and the Patrick Walters and the Kyle Welchers and those types of guys. In fact, 9 out of 10 of their top 10 anglers right now on the NPFL are BASS elite anglers. So there's no doubt that there's some popularity from the NPFL. But here's the issue, guys. And guys, what I'm about to say here is backed by a number of observable facts. Even though the NPFL has over 2025 gotten a tremendous amount of public support and notoriety and publicity, the reality is I have not seen the NPFL be able to convert that publicity and that fan likability into dollars. And to be honest, the inability for NPFL, at least at this point, to convert that public sentiment into positive cash flow and dollars is a huge problem. Now, I'm not privy to the inner workings, so for all I know, 2026 is going to come out and NPFL is going to be able to generate that revenue. But we're not hearing it in the industry. We're just not hearing it. And the reality is, even though they just yesterday came out with their new schedule, they haven't talked about their payouts. Currently, their payouts they weren't as good as even the Pro Circuit last year. And now that the Pro Circuit has upped things to $10,000 for a third of the field, they aren't going to compare at all, at least where they stand now, to the Pro Circuit, which is going to make the NPFL the third pro division, compared to Bass and the BPT. But it's a pro league that doesn't even pay as much as the Pro Circuit, which is technically a AAA feeder league. So from that standpoint, I don't know how the NPFL can really, kind of consider itself a pro league if its payouts are dwarfed by one of the AAA leagues, namely the pro circuit. Now you might say, well, how do I know this? Well, the reality is that these are things that industry people are talking about, whether it's at a classic or at ICAST, where industry people and quite honestly, even people that are tied to the NPFL are saying, listen, we're not seeing the dollars coming in. We're hearing the support, but we're not seeing the sponsorship dollars coming in that back up that support. And again, guys, you can have 90 people out of 100 saying they love what you're doing, but if you can't get that to translate into dollars, then you're going to have a hard time attracting and keeping big name anglers in your circuit. I'm curious about what you think with this. I would guess that if we did a poll here in the comments, a lot of you are going to say that you support the NPFL. Again, that goes with what I'm saying. I think it's there. But the issue is, how do you turn that support into dollars? And that's the question that really falls to NPFL, how to answer that and to get out there and aggressively take that support, be able to somehow show that support and convince sponsors that that's where they want to put their advertising dollars. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend. It's going to be another warm one so we can get out there fishing. Enjoy it, and we will see you again on Monday for another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. Take care, everybody.